Hello everyone, I'm Faded Oasis. Thank you for tuning in my stream here on twitch.tv/Faded Oasis or watching this out on youtube.com/@Faded Oasis. It's Maker Monday, which is why I'm over here on this side. I've got all my Papercraft in front of me, which means I'm making a Hanafuda card today, and as you can see on the screen right here, it's kind of complicated today. It is an iris behind an 8-plank bridge, which is a traditional style of Japanese walking bridge used in like gardens and whatnot. Um, and it's a little complicated. I'm gonna actually not be basing everything off of over here. This design. I'm gonna be doing. It'll be partially this and partially the Nintendo art that they use on their Hanafuda cards. So Nintendo uses orange posts for the 8-plank bridge. I'm not going to be doing that just to make it a little bit easier so I don't have to do any orange. But the Wikipedia one that you can see has yellow in the iris, and I'm not actually... The Nintendo one is just solid purple. I don't actually know which one I like better right now. I mean, I like the yellow one better, but it's a heck of a lot more work. I don't know. We'll see how I feel. Uh, Before I get into it, I want to say thank you for watching. I stream 4 days a week here on twitch.tv/Faded Oasis. Or I upload all my VODs to youtube.com/@Faded Oasis. I've been reading up on the 8-plank bridges, or eight. It's just called 8 bridges. Um, Let me... How do I make this bigger for you in a way that matters? All right, I'm kind of covering things up, but so it's like this style of bridge where you're walking through a garden or a flooded field or something like that. And it's like very traditional. There you go. Hi, Glass. How you doing? Um, so I like that design very much, and that's why I chose this card. Let me shrink that back down. And the iris is actually great too. So actually, you know what? I'm going to look up some photos of irises and see what they actually look like. Okay, so I do see the yellow inside bits in a lot of these. And I do think it would look better with that yellow. So maybe I'll just do that. Yeah, I don't think it just being purple is going to look great. Let's get some music going here. Bring it down just a bit. There we go. So, I guess I can show you... where's... Nope, that's the wrong... Why do I have like 5 Firefox windows open? Alright, so as you can see, it's got the yellow on the inside here. Especially, you know, like this. So I will be doing it with the yellow, even if it does make it quite a bit harder. Let me close this. There we go. So, yeah. Let's get started, I guess. I guess I can show... did grab my previous month's Hanafuda cards here. I keep them in the best way to keep any artwork, a manila folder. I don't have frames for all of them yet, so I do have... Here's April's in its frame. And I can't get the whole thing on camera, almost. But I like it. I like this one very much. I actually like all of them very much so far. Yeah, so I'm just keeping the one in frame for the current month until I get closer to the end of this project where I'll buy frames for everything else. So this was January, and then February, And then March, which I really like, the cherry blossoms behind the curtain. I like how every single one of these came out. So I'm excited to get into this one. Let's do it. So I've trimmed the white base page down to the size of the frame. And I guess I just start with the water in the background and just go up from there. Well, so there's the water in the background at the bottom. And then there's the leaves for the eye, or is that for part of the iris, or is that part of a different plant? I'm not sure. But the gray behind it, gray foliage. So I will have to include that as well, of course. Okay. So I guess I'll do those first, and then the bridge, and then work on the red clouds. I don't know when that's gonna happen, but so let's figure out how big I want the water to be here. I mean, I want the 8-plank bridge to be pretty prominent in here. For those that haven't seen the previous Hanafuda cards, the frame that I bought is not the same aspect ratio as the card itself, meaning the card is a lot taller than the page is. So I either need to crop off some of the top and bottom, or I need to somehow like squish it down a bit, or just move things in to have it fit on the page and still look nice. I might be able to crop a little bit off of the bottom of the bridge down there, but for the most part it'll be making the foliage shorter, moving the flowering irises a little lower, moving the clouds lower. I guess actually the best place to start is probably by cutting out the bridge so that I can see how large that is and how much water I need. So let's start to sketch that out. Where's my pencil sharpener? Here it is. Just need to sharpen this pencil real fast. Okay. So the design of the 8-plank bridge is pretty unique. Guess I just draw it right on here, huh? So start with the posts. Now, let me make sure there's nothing on the back of this page. Okay, good. I remember last month or the month before I started drawing and sketching everything out, and then realized that I already had sketches from a previous art on the back, so I had to do a bunch of erasing. if I were doing this correctly, I would set up all my perspectives properly, and I mean, this is probably just simple 2-point perspective. Oh no, it's not even perspective, it's just angles. Yeah, because nothing's converging. Never mind. Sorry, I took an art class in middle school, or junior high school, whatever, and some of the things stuck with me. Is this large enough? Probably not, actually. That big, maybe? This seems like it's a good size. Very prominent. And then the back one will be going up from about here. I know it looks like my measurements are crazy with me not matching up angles of anything. But I'm actually trying to match like what that angle would be on this side. And it's really just a rough measurement anyway, because I really just want to make these... Yeah, that was way wrong. Let's go there. Right, and then we need the post on the inside. And then the top post. Catching some very bad ovals here, but they'll do the job. And then I guess we can cut this out and see how big it is and where we want our water level to be. So let's do that. Where are my scissors? They're over here. They're on my mess of a desk. Is this in shot? Yeah. So again, like any of the other Maker streams, if anyone has any questions or anything, I'm definitely happy to answer things. Or if you have suggestions or anything like that, now's a great time. If not, I'm just going to talk about a story that I've been following for the last 5 months or so. Of the Voyager 1 spacecraft. I just put out a Mastodon post where I talked about this. I'll start everyone from the beginning. Back in 1977, I'm doing the top of the post here, so I kind of want to concentrate a little bit. All right. Back in 1977, NASA had a project to make close-up photographs of Jupiter and Saturn. And they eventually named that project Voyager. They launched 2 probes, Voyager 1 and 2, in 1977. And in 1979, both of them took photos of Jupiter. And in 1980, both took photos of Saturn. And we learned a lot of information from this. Specifically, more about the nature of Jupiter's Great Red Spot, how it's a giant storm. We learned that Jupiter has rings, and got some close-up photos of its moons, and even discovered new moons around Jupiter, and learned a lot of info about Saturn. Saturn's moons and its rings and how they work together. The moons actually, the gravity from the moons helps keep the debris in the rings in line and kind of lined up, which is very, very interesting. But then we weren't done, because the way NASA set up the paths of Voyager 1 and 2, after Saturn, Voyager 1 shot off, kind of slingshotted around, using, kind of getting very close to Saturn and using it as a gravity boost to slingshot around and head toward the interstellar boundary, or the boundary of the solar system. And in 2012, I want to say, it finally reached the interstellar space, the space between the solar systems, which is very, very cool. NASA's using Voyager 1 and 2, that are both now in interstellar space, to get valuable readings about the nature of interstellar space, why like the plasma that makes up the space out there, and learn about how our sun's solar winds help push it away and kind of protect us. Basically, we're in a giant bubble because of our sun's solar winds. And so it's getting a lot of telemetry. NASA's getting a lot of telemetry data from this interstellar space. And back in November of last year, 2023, Voyager 1 stopped sending any usable data. It started just sending out random bits, ones and zeros. And NASA didn't know why at that point. They did eventually figure out that it was one of the processing chips used to process the data and send it around to the different parts on Voyager. So they were able to write new code to bypass that section of that chip that was failing. And they pushed out the new code to Voyager 4 days ago. Now, because Voyager 1 is in interstellar space, 15 billion miles away, it takes a lot of time for light to get there from Earth. 22 and a half hours. So NASA sent over the code at the speed of light, and then had to wait 22 and a half hours for the code to get there so that Voyager could rewrite itself and try to fix the error. And then they had to wait 22 and a half hours for the data coming back from Voyager to see if it had worked, because they didn't know. NASA engineers were working on documents, some of which were handwritten documents from over 40 years ago, written by people who don't work at NASA anymore, either because they're retired or because they're deceased, because it was written like 50 years ago. So a lot of people were trying to learn what the code was doing as they were rewriting it and going over it in great detail, because they also didn't want to screw anything up. Because if you screw it up and you get Voyager into a position where it's now rewritten its code to not be able to rewrite its code anymore, or not be able to understand the commands it's receiving, you've just bricked the spacecraft. And they definitely don't want to do that, because if they ever do send another spacecraft out to interstellar space, first they're going to have to wait for Jupiter and Saturn to line up in a way where we can slingshot past both of them to gain a lot of speed, which isn't going to happen for a while. And I guess we could try to slingshot around Uranus and Neptune or something like that, but it's going to take a little while. We have to build new craft to get there, and then we just have to wait for the journey. And considering it's taken Voyager 46 years to get where it is, it's going to be a while. So they didn't want to screw anything up, because there is no option to repair it once it's screwed up too badly. And they definitely wanted to keep both of these spacecraft alive as long as possible. 2 days ago, they received Voyager 1's message back from rewriting its code. and it was functional telemetry data. Readable, functional telemetry data, which is fantastic. They have bypassed the processor that was failing, that was causing the code to just become a jumbled mess before it was sent out. So now they are tasked with rewriting the code that goes to the scientific modules on the craft that read scientific data, and getting that all working without going through that same failing processor. But at least they have any sort of data whatsoever. They have a functional spacecraft again. And I've been following the story for 5 months, and I am ecstatic about this. I'm not entirely sure why I've been following the Voyager project so closely. Maybe it's just because I think it's cool. I wrote a little bit about. I mean, this is the first. These are the farthest spacecrafts from Earth. If they were created and launched a decade before I was born, I was not alive during the periods where its main functions were happening, when they were taking pictures of Jupiter and Saturn and their moons and the storms on Jupiter and the alignment of the rings on Saturn and everything like that. I wasn't even alive when I guess I was barely alive when Pale Blue Dot was taken. There's a famous photo showing a ray of scattered light taken by Voyager, one of the last photos it took, with a pale blue dot sitting in the center of the scattered light. And that pale blue dot, that tiny speck, is Earth. And it kind of brings me to tears every single time I see it and think about it, honestly. It's so cool that we've been able to do this. Uh-oh. I see a problem here. So if my water is at the level of this bridge, it's way low over here. And if it's up there, it's way high over here. I kind of didn't think that out very well. And on the Nintendo version, yeah, the 2 points are kind of lined up anyway, so you wouldn't be able to tell. I guess, like, I'll have the gray leaves coming out from here. And I guess it doesn't really make sense for there to be white behind the bridge here, since it's supposed to be on the water. Maybe I just put it up here and the water level's just up here. I think that'll be fine. Okay, so how much water do I need? Like here. So that's a little bit more than 3 inches. So it goes to here. Actually, you know, I can just measure and mark in the middle. Yeah, about... Is it in tenths or is this in sixteenths? 20ths? No, that's not possible. No, it's 16ths. Okay. 3 and 2/16, so 3 1/8 of an inch. And then I can draw the lines on it afterward. Okay, so line up at that bottom of the page there. I can probably make that look good enough. I hope. Like, I can have the gray leaves coming up from here. Okay, so there's a trick that some artists do that I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it, where the perspective of things is purposefully wrong in a way to make it look better. If the fern's coming up from here, or whatever sort of leaf this is, and I just lower the water down to here, is anyone gonna notice that the water level on this side is higher? I don't think so. Even though it is markedly higher. I'll have to see when I cut out the ferns and place it on what I think about it, because I can just lower this. Actually, you know what? Turn this around. Line everything up again, because I just screwed it up. So if the water level on this side is down here, and the water level on this side is up to there, you know, I think that's probably fine. And when you see everything else that's going on, it's not really going to be noticeable. So let me cut out the ferns and see what that actually... see if that makes sense before I actually cut into this piece, because I don't want to cut things if I don't have to. Alright. I've got all my gray scraps from all the previous months. Let's see what I can reuse. I do have more gray paper, I just don't like throwing stuff out if I don't have to. Especially if it can be reused. Sort about there. I guess the clouds at the top would be a nice thing to do next. That way I see how much room I have for the ferns. And that's an easy thing to do since it doesn't overlap anything. And that's like a very natural shape. kind of just random swirls that make sense for a cloud. Like, it is definitely very stylized, and I like it. That's definitely not where that goes. Alright, so let me cut that out. See what it looks like when I place it down on the page. What else can I talk about? Oh, I played a game that's new to me. Definitely not a new game. This is hard to cut out with scissors because there's so many internal corners. I'm gonna use a knife. It's an indie roguelike from about 5 years ago called Overland. And it's very much like, what if they turned Oregon Trail into an XCOM game? You have a few characters that are trying to run from aliens, or trying to survive by getting past aliens, going from east to west across the US. And you can recruit new people along the way, or dogs. You've got a strategy tactic based movement to search areas for extra gas cans or supplies, first aid kits, repair kit for your car, or find new cars. It's very cool. Why is this not cutting through? There we go. And definitely has some like emergent storytelling, emergent narratives where... Alright, so I had a run where my first character picked up a... picked up a friend very early on. I think it was part of the introduction. And then later they found a dog that was trapped. So they rescued the dog, got enough supplies, and got in their car. The car seats 4 people, or up to 4 people, and has room to have one thing strapped onto the back of it. And each of the characters, including the dog, can carry 2 items. So I could carry a total of 7 things. I had used the health kit to heal the dog, because when we found it was injured, and when you're injured, you can only move 1 space instead of 3, and that's really a deal breaker in that game. So we healed the dog, got it up to full, and ran for a few more days. Until we got to a place where there was a new vehicle. There was a rumor that there was another vehicle coming up. And it was a pickup truck, which could hold 4 things in the back, in the bed of the truck. Maybe it was 6 things, I don't know. It could hold a lot. It was 4 things. And we were crunched for space because people were using up weapons, and we needed to have spare everything. Just gonna try and do the top left one here. Definitely goes lower than that. So we were running through and trying to... We were having a problem with space efficiency. We were finding enough items, we just couldn't carry them. So we hear a rumor about a pickup truck. Or a new vehicle, and I go there and it's a pickup truck. While clearing out the path so that we could get the pickup truck out of there and transferring a bunch of the gas over, the first character that I was playing was injured. And we didn't have a first aid kit because we couldn't really carry anything, and I made some hard choices about, well, we need to defend ourselves and be able to attack when we need. So I left the first aid kit a few towns back. And so the main character was injured. I'm like, great, fine, whatever. Everyone get in the truck, and we're gonna drive out of here, and we'll find a first aid kit. The pickup truck seats 2 people. The second character got in, the dog got in, and the injured first character could not fit. So now I had to make a decision. The aliens were swarming on us. It was too late to go refuel the car that we brought. I had to leave the first character behind. And there's some in-game dialogue that goes over people dealing with abandoning people, and one of the things that character 2 said was, boy, I hope we don't ever see character 1 ever again. Three days later, I'm still struggling. I'm still in this pickup truck with my dog. And we get to a rough spot where the aliens are holding us up for a while. We have to clear a path out. And like 10 or so turns in the level, character 1 just shows up in a new car with an axe and wants revenge for leaving them behind. That was great, because I'm just like, oh heck, I need to get out of here now. Things have gone south very bad. Okay, I think those clouds are good. Yeah, definitely. So now we need to add ferns that fit in here. Let's start with the large center one, and I can go like all the way up to here. And it comes down from here. You know, the curve on this is almost perfect already. Wonder what I used this for before. Actually, yeah, that's great. Yeah, so the game was Overland, and I highly recommend it. It's made by Finji, the developer and publisher, who also published Tunic, Wilmot's Warehouse, Chicory, and another game that I like, and I don't remember which one it was. But I don't know why it took me so long to play it, because I had it sitting in my library the whole time, and I just never installed it. That looks pretty good. And then have the crease down the center. Alright, well, now I've got this curve. Can I do... Probably cut this here so it's not as sharp. I'll just do that now, see if I can just do this. Oh, siren's going off outside. Luckily, I don't think that's coming over the microphone. This will be the one down here. Oh, weird. The art in... from Wikipedia has the fern with the crease down the center, and then it just becomes one piece below. Does this one have that same error? I guess it shows them overlapping on this. It's kind of hard to see what's going on here. Yeah, I think... Does my cursor show up on here? No, it doesn't. Can I tell you to capture cursor? You are capturing cursor. Why don't I see it? Make this larger. There it is. Okay, so I think this line should extend down here and then go behind here, like all the way down to here. So this should be gray and this here should be gray. But I think it's just whoever made this for Wikipedia missed that. I'll incorporate that into mine because I'm using a giant piece of paper, so it doesn't make sense to like cut it over there. So this is down. I actually want this to be behind here so I can see where it is. Stacking all this paper is difficult, while trying to keep everything in place. So that's there or so. This one is here. Probably here. So that when it curves over, it will hit the edge of this and then go past it. Cut that out and see how that looks. What else have I been playing? I've been playing a bit more Balatro. Just getting some more of those unlocks. I beat Gold Stake on stream, but I haven't really progressed with any of the other decks that much at all, I think. I think it's just been me trying to go for getting $400 or I know I did like discarding 4 jacks at a time. Okay, that goes there. This goes here, and then this one. Goes like there. That's pretty good. That page is trash. All these little scraps I'm cutting off. That curve is a good start, but it's not quite curved enough. Okay, I've got smaller pieces here. Let's get the piece down here, I guess. Sorry for bumping the mic. Just gonna try doing this by hand and then see how it looks. That's definitely gonna need to go lower. I think that's good. Yeah, definitely. And I'm not going to cut the bottoms here until I'm ready to glue everything down, just in case everything shifts a bit, because I don't want to cut it too close to the top and then have this, you know, actually be up here because everything's moved, and you know what I mean. Alright, so this one goes to the top of the 8-plank bridge. Comes back a little bit and then goes out. And then at this side, it lines up pretty perfectly with this. Go like here. That'll be good. Go off the page slightly and I'll just trim the top of it. So about like that, I think. And then we just need the folded one down here. Actually, this can probably go... Yeah. How high up do I want to go with this fold? Probably like here. Give me room for the irises up there. Oh, this has to go lower, like here. And from here, follow the same curve, like it keeps going. But then they both come down from here. This one should probably come out more. Now it's not thick enough. I think that looks good. We'll cut that out so that you can see it better. Shifting everything when I touch anything. This should be here. That should be there. This should be lower, like there. Be here. And then my idea for the water was to lower it. Let's see if I can do this without moving anything else. Lower it down to there. But have this still filled in. And I think I like that. I think I'm gonna do that. Right, it has to go behind the ferns. That's a pain in the butt. Oh, I just realized. Apologies to anyone watching live who uses closed captions. I just realized I didn't have them on. They are now on. I guess that looks good. Strain that up a little bit. And then mark off the edges. This one definitely needs to be trimmed about here. Yeah. I could have probably built this at a different angle and brought this post in more, but I think it's fine. Okay, now for how the heck am I gonna do lilies? You know, it's 7:15. If I take a break now and then start gluing this down before I figure out the lilies, that's probably going to be a good idea. Let's do that. I'm going to take a break. I'll be back in 3 minutes or so. And when I come back, I will glue these pieces down and then try and figure out how to get purple lilies with yellow insets and yellow buds and everything like is shown in the Wikipedia art there. Stick around, I'll be back in just a few minutes. And I'm back. Alright. Let's glue this down and then figure out the iris. First off, take everything off of here. Okay. Want to figure out. So the water definitely needs to go down first. Because the plants need to cover up the water that's above the bridge here. Actually, you know what? Let's cut this a bit more. Just to make this area not as thick when I glue everything down. Sorry about the loud noise. I'm clumsy and drop scissors. Let's glue this down right here. I need scrap paper that I can cover in glue and then throw away. Come on. There we go. So then, before I put the bridge down, I want to put the ferns down. Before I put the ferns down, I can put the clouds down, so I can see where those are going. There we go. That looks pretty good. And now the ferns. Because the bridge needs to go on top of them. Which ferns were where? This one was this side. This one was here. Yeah, okay. I never drew a center line down this one. Okay, so actually putting these down where I want them to be before I put the bridge down is going to be a little tough because I'm making sure that they look nice in relation to the bridge. So I want the bridge to be visible as I'm gluing them down so that I can make sure that they look nice, but I don't want the bridge to be in the way, so everything's a mess. So this was down here. So I guess like that. So I guess I can mark the background in pencil so that I'll know where these go. And then I glue them down from the outside in. I'm kind of fine marking up the edges of these because I know that I'm going to have a nice thick Sharpie line on top of them. So it should be fine because it'll be covered. I shouldn't be drawing the yellow ones until, or the lines on here, until that stuff is down. Because it might shift slightly when applying the glue, and I don't know where the bridge will be after that. So let me erase these. Those are going to be fine. Alright. So slide these over one by one so I keep their order. Lining this up is a little bit tricky. Go. Trying to make sure I'm not using any spots that already have glue on them. I want to mark up the front of the piece. Is that gonna look fine? I should cut the bottom of this nail. That'd be good. Okay. Grab a new scrap paper. Oh. Put my guard back on my knife so I don't accidentally brush it and cut myself. Pretty good. There we go. Yeah, that looks pretty great. Okay, I did leave a little bit of tight space here, so if I line the bridge with the bottom corner and the side wall, there's a little bit of white gap there. I guess I put this for a little too high, or I cut it too much. I think that'll be fine because when I Sharpie it, that part will be covered anyway with the thickness of the ink. But like, I can fudge it a little bit. I'd rather not though. Let's just do this. That should be enough. Before I glue this down, I'm going to erase some of the extra marks that might not be covered by Sharpie, just in case. Oh, actually, you know what? This should be trimmed a little bit, because this board should be straight like that and not to a corner. Okay. Don't put the glue on the wrong side, Faded. Perfect. Exactly where I wanted it. Okay. While that's drying, let's figure out the flowers. So, I can make the flower shape. Sorry, the leaf. I guess the flower shape here. Let me make this larger for y'all. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So I can make the leaf shape here with one piece of purple. And then add on a yellow piece on top of it. Which seems a lot easier than having a yellow back piece and then adding the two petals separately. I think that makes the most sense. But getting the shape of the yellow is going to be tough, I think. I don't know how I'm going to actually go about doing that, because I guess I cut out the purple, the whole purple leaf petal thing. And then cut out a small scrap of yellow to put on top of it so that I can sketch out, because its shape is going to depend on the specific shape of the large purple piece and where the center line is. And then I'll just cut out the little pieces up here and up here. Oh, you know what? The top of these... I didn't cut out the red for that, did I? Guess I'll leave them yellow. I don't think they need to be red. Yeah, this is gonna be a little tough, isn't it? Well, let's give it a try. Let's see. It is 7:47. I don't think that I'm gonna be able to cut these out, or figure out their shape, cut them out, figure out the yellow shapes, cut those out, glue everything down and Sharpie everything, including the elaborate water pattern down here. I don't think I'm going to be able to do all of that tonight. So maybe this is kind of a good place to call it, I guess. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to call this here. Because next week is April 29th. Yes, April 29th. So I still do have time to get this done before May. So I will do that next week. Next time on Maker Monday. Faded finishes powering up and finishes cutting out pieces. Yeah, I think this looks great so far. Coming up on other parts of the stream. Whoa, Firefox is in the way. There we go. Here's my streaming schedule. On Wednesdays and Fridays, I play single-player games. I'm currently playing Anno Mutationem, which is a fantastic game about... It's an action-adventure, mostly adventure, like a walk-around, almost a point-and-click, but you're just talking to people and picking things up and stuff. It's a cyberpunk mystery with a lot of what the heck is even going on and like surrealism. It's very interesting. I'm very excited to keep playing it. That'll be on Wednesday and Friday. On Sunday, multiplayer Sundays, cooperative Sundays, whatever I'm calling them nowadays. We're continuing on with Papercraft. We beat the base game. We beat the bonus level that was for the developer's 5-year anniversary. But there's DLC. So we're going to play through the DLC levels with all the new trimmings and rides and decorations and everything that all the new DLC brings. So that'll be interesting. I should probably like update that graphic to say Parkitect DLC or whatever. But yeah, so we're going to keep on keeping on with Parkitect Sunday at 6 p.m. And then, like I mentioned, next week on Monday, I'll be continuing my Hanafuda card for May. That's going to do it. Nope. I can switch over here, I guess. Hold this microphone. This always goes well. Thank you everyone for watching. I stream 4 days a week here on twitch.tv/fadedoasis, and I upload all of my VODs to youtube.com/@fadedoasis the day after the stream. I also post going live notices on my Mastodon at kind.social/@fadedoasis. Sorry, kind.social/@fadedoasis. And yeah, if you have any suggestions for anything you want to see me play, anything you want to see me make on Mondays, any co-op games you think would go well on Sundays, or anything I can do to make the stream better, you can let me know on any of those platforms. A Twitch chat, a YouTube comment, or a post on Mastodon. Just at me, ping me, whatever you need to do. All that's fine. Thank you everyone for watching. I very much appreciate it. If you do want to help me out, you can follow on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, ring the bell, do the notification thing, like, comment, whatever the heck you want. But all of those help me out because they do let me know that people are watching and care about the stuff I'm making. And that's most important. Thank you again everyone for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you all next time. Have a good one.